Okay, back to cooperative learning and pies. Positive interdependence means that your kids and your groups have to work together to become effective. Individual accountability, can everyone be held accountable for their part of the project? Equal participation, meaning that person that says, I'm going to take care of this, it no longer applies that one person does all the work. Simultaneous interaction. It's not a relay, it's everyone working together at the same time to produce the project along. You do this by assigning roles within a structure. For a think, pair, share, it could be something as simple as student A, student B. Group them together, have them work together, demonstrate their process. If they have their own technology, have them screenshot how they work back together. Have them record the interaction back and forth. If it's a large group thing, assign them roles. The leader of the group, they're the person that if they have a problem, they come to me as the teacher. I shouldn't get 40 emails from one group from all members. It should be one person communicating back and forth with the teacher and then communicating back with the group. Likewise, you could have a fact checker, a person that anything that your group talks about, they have to provide the footnote or the citation or where the information came from. How about the presenter? They're the person that's going to record the speech that goes to the teacher. Another person might be the journalist or the graphic designer or the layout person if you're creating a visual. Again, assign specific roles and make sure there's that positive interdependence and individual accountability. Don't allow a person to slough off during the group. Hope that makes sense. I skipped strategy 7 for right now and go straight to strategy 8. And I again put in there social studies to remind myself this applies to any class. We need to use simulations with predicting and debriefing and make kids do a lab class, even in a virtual setting. Okay? For social studies, the lab materials are primary sources. Web links to primary sources. For English language arts, the lab materials are the poems, the novels, the stories you read in all their forms, whether it be a verbal assist, whether you find the book read on YouTube, whether you create the verbal track that the kid downloads while they're reading. Create lab experiences for kids. Present a hypothesis. One of the ways that I do this in my social studies classes, we play the stock market game. A game that I found, and again, I'm a gamer, but I've got it at a garage sale for $0.25. It's called Stocks and Bonds. Classic game from the 1960s. We start this activity with a hypothesis. The hypothesis might be a savings account CD, certificate of deposit, of 3% over 30 years of compounded interest will perform the same as an investor on the stock market. And the kids go back and forth. They say, wow, 3%? I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, the stock market will dominate. There's times where kids will lose some of their investment because, as we saw just recently, the stock market is a volatile situation. The simple act of creating a hypothesis and finding a way to test said hypothesis provides engagement, provides meaning, provides purpose. And if you phrase it, or if you set up the simulation or experience well enough, your kids will fall in love with it. And again, that's why we do the things we do. Again, I don't want to go off too much on a rant here, but I will. I'm kind of a Latin nerd, and I'm studying Latin to try and get certified in it. I'm picturing right now showing a example of Catullus' love poetry, and the hypothesis will be a guy reading a Catullus poem will have just as much luck with a person they're trying to date than a poem from today, or even a Shakespearean poem. Yeah, I was that weird teacher that when I taught world history, I'd embarrass seventh grade girls by going, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate." One of the best sonnets of all time, by the way, but again, I digress. Well, Catullus's love poems are just as interesting. If I just have kids read it, though, to try and find out what the meter is of it, why the word order is chosen the way it does, the kids are going to lose interest quickly. Oh, this is an academic exercise. But if I couch it in a hypothesis that has some realism to it, but doesn't smack of academia, the kids will be more interested. That engagement piece is going to be there. And ideally, that's what we want. Strategy 9, cues, questions, advanced organizers. This is going to be vitally important in the virtual world. We've got to show kids the direction we're taking them and how we're taking them there. You teachers that put up every day what we're doing, here's what you should learn, how we're going to do it, and what you should know, those are vitally important. The questioning techniques that we use, we've got to practice wait time even in a virtual world. We've got to foreshadow everything. Activate prior knowledge whenever we can. We're going to have to give kids reading organizers. And I've always used reading organizers with stop signs, with go signs, with big question icons, just to help kids grasp what they're supposed to read. Everything we do in this virtual world, we've got to eliminate ambiguity so that kids know what is expected of them. It's a must for this situation now. And finally, strategy 7, it relates to strategy 9, providing ideas in that. Well, this is more for my methods kids, but it's important as a teacher. We've got to set good objectives. Grunland, one of my educational heroes, said the process alone of setting objectives does nothing to improve student learning. Some of you go, why in the world do we make kids learn so much about it then? Well, Marzano finds it works best when these are shared with students. And if you go back and look at cues, questions, advanced organizers, the first thing I put on there, unit organizers, where we tell them these are the objectives for the unit. These are where I'm drawing the test questions from. This is what you've got to know. Those become the key part to it. That's the Marzano overview. Hope this was useful for you, and hope you turn in a good assignments for it. Talk to you in a bit.